Right. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to an information session specifically for alumni who are interested in learning more about the new Vernon E. Jordan Jr. Scholarship Leaders Fellowship Program. We're really excited about this opportunity, especially for our Economic Club Scholarship alumni, and are glad that you are here to learn more about this. We know that it's important as you guys continue to reach your academic and career goals. A lot of you have graduate school plans or in graduate school, so this is just an awesome program that we hope that you take advantage of. You're going to hear in this session more about the application process itself. You're going to hear from an economic club member who's here, Robert Yerman, who's on the education committee and has been very active in helping us set up this new fellowship program. And you're going to get a chance to ask your questions as well that you may have as you started looking at the application or just come on to learn more about it. So we're glad you're here. Who we were really excited to have with us this evening. He'll be on hand to answer questions as well. He's an economic club member and a member of the education committee. He's been a longstanding member of the committee and has been a great instrumental leader in the fellowship program that came before this version. And he's also been instrumental in designing the new fellowship program. And he's the managing director of Alix Partners. He's a great business leader as well as a great leader that we're excited and privileged to have helping with the Scholarship Leaders program at the Economic Club. So over to you, Robert, and I know the scholars are looking forward to hearing from you.
Thank you, Marissa. I am really looking forward to learning more about each of you, as we will do once you submit your application. And today, if you have any questions based on what we say or what we haven't said, please don't hesitate to ask them. All right, just a little bit of history. You all have participated in the scholarship in the David Rubenstein Economic Club Scholarship. What the club also had was we gave out 2 or 3 fellowships to mostly economists, people studying economics going for their PhD. And these were PhD candidates. They were generally at the point that they were writing their dissertations. So we had these scholarships that we gave out. And this year, or towards the end of last year, we took a look and said, we think that there are more people that are potential, should be potential recipients of the fellowship than just the economists, economic PhD candidates. So we've changed the emphasis really of the awards. We're still going to give out $10,000 fellowships, hopefully to 3 candidates, 3 successful candidates. And we've changed a little bit the criteria, not completely, but I did want to focus a little bit on what the areas we'll be looking at. And it's important for you to understand how we're going to evaluate what areas we're going to be looking at, so that you make certain that you tell us and you focus on these areas to present an accurate picture of where you are and where you plan to be. So the areas that we are going to concentrate on are leadership, academics, or how you've done, how your academic history has been, what you've done, what we call community service. That's really how you've interacted with your fellow residents of Washington, or wherever you've gone. If you've gone to school outside of Washington, if you participated in any community service, what you've done since you've graduated, what your thoughts are about what you can do after your graduation, and really how you've interacted with the economic club, either through the mentoring program, the internship, or any other way that you have interacted with us and what your thoughts are. And that's basically what we're going to be looking at. The education committee, we have, I'm not sure how many, we have maybe 15 members roughly, Marissa?
Yeah, just about.
And we will be the ones that are going to read your applications, read your essays, read your answers, and we will then get together and based on our collective evaluations, hopefully 3 winners will surface, and this will be the best thing. We look at this as one of the best things that we can do, which is helping you further your education, helping you direct you towards, well, let's think about it this way. What our intent is that someday you guys are going to be sitting here doing the same thing that we are doing for students that come about, that are students when you are members of the economics club. So we're looking for you to get the best education that you can, the areas that you think are important, and hopefully someday, if you would like, join the economics club and then participate in this process and help others young people get ahead. So again, it's wonderful that we get a chance to meet you. And I think that basically is an overview of how we are going to interact.
Yes, thank you so much, Robert. I love what you said about, encouraging them to give back in the future. So hopefully we'll help you guys continue to move forward successfully so that you can continue to give back as well. As we move forward, I'd love to hear your perspective, Robert, on the recommendation process, but we'll get there. That's also a big part of the application itself. So I'm going to share my screen and go into our slideshow. As I've said before, we've done already a big part of this agenda with a welcome and introductions, done a mentee poll, and we've heard from Robert Yerman, and we'll continue to over the course of the session. But I'm going to go again into an overview of the fellowship itself, the application requirements, and then do a walkthrough of screenshots of the actual online application to get you familiar with that. And of course, we'll have time for Q&A. And then we'll close out with with a couple of our alumni leaders who are on the line who can tell you more about our Alumni Leadership Council. But for now, let's focus on the fellowship itself. So the fellowship itself has opened. The application is opened as of June 1st. The deadline is July 8th. And so that is the time. And so you have, I guess, about 4 more weeks to complete your application. And that includes a recommendation process. So we will allow about a week or so after July 8th for you to get your recommendations in, but your portion of the application, your essays, all of your uploads, your resume, transcripts, and things that are required should be complete by July 8th. Between July 19th and 30th is when the applications will be evaluated by the Education Committee, as that's what Robert discussed as far as their process and what they'll be looking for from your applications. And then in August, we will look to announce who the winners are. And you'll get a copy of this, this particular slideshow as well, and there's a link directly to the application here also. Just for eligibility and selection criteria, an overview of here, all of our, this fellowship is required that any recipient and any applicant must be a recipient of the David and Rubenstein Scholarship. So I know that you may have friends who are looking to go to grad school or family members, but if they have not been a previous recipient of the Economic Club Scholarship, they are not eligible to apply. This is specifically for you as alumni because we want to make sure that we continue to invest in your future. We also require, in order to receive an award this year, that you be enrolled in a graduate program this fall 2021. We realize that some of you may be on in preparation to apply next year. That's great that you're here to learn more about it early on and get a head start. But in order to receive an award this year and to be selected, you must be enrolled. And so there'll be some requirements around that, just showing that you will be enrolled or showing acceptance into a graduate studies program, or if you're already in a graduate program, showing that your enrollment, current enrollment. And also your graduate studies must be in a college or university within the United States. So as Robert mentioned, we definitely will be looking at your leadership, your academic record, community service, and engagement in economic club events or programming. Please note that we aren't requiring any specific field of study. It is open to any field of study as long as it is a degree-seeking graduate level program, graduate level or doctoral level, actually. So if someone's going for their PhD, we definitely would encourage you to apply as well. So as you know, this application does require some essays. We'd love to hear from you and your plans, wanting to know more about how this fellowship will help you in particular. So we want to know what your career plans are upon finishing graduate school, how this fellowship will help you achieve the goals you've set for yourself, and also a sense of which community service and leadership activities you've been participating in. What you'll notice here is that we ask for, of these 3 short answer questions, that 2 of them be answered in a written version, and you choose whichever one you want to upload a video response. The video response doesn't need to be any longer than 3 minutes. There is an easy way to upload that on that page. And so on the online page, and so we allow you to make sure that you are able to do that. And so that short answer questions and the essays are in the video is something that's not meant to be a heavy lift. It's just something to help us know more about you and your plans. The long essay is something that we definitely encourage you to take some time to think through and craft very well, because we ask for you, it helps us to get a sense of your reflection and your leadership and your future plans. It asks you to reflect on a quote by Vernon Jordan. I won't read it fully here, but it's on the application and on your screen, but it really is a testament to the fact that none of us get to where we are by ourselves. We all need someone else to help us. And that's what Vernon Jordan was all about. He unfortunately passed away a few months ago, but he was an amazing leader who was all about helping others. I remember watching his memorial service, and every person that got up to speak talked about how basically he changed their lives by connecting him with someone, by telling them great advice, by just being someone that was a reliable person, because he himself benefited from other people helping him. And so it's just really important, and we'd love for you guys to be creative and talk about how this quote and this sentiment is important to you in your life. Now, recommendation letters. We require and ask that you have a recommendation, 2 recommendation letters. One of them, they could be from a past professor, employer, and at least one of them should be from an economic club member. The recommender should be able to write about your leadership, character, and career aspirations. We do know that some of you may not have been plugged in as much in the past 2 years, or you may not need some help connecting with an economic club member. We are happy to help you with that. But I will say that it's important for you to make the ask for your recommendation. So it's really about building that relationship. So what we would do is connect you with someone either in your field or maybe someone who went to your school, someone who may have an easy connection with you, that we can, once we get to know you, get a sense of who would be a best connection. And we would encourage you to, after we connect you guys, of course, to be proactive about building that relationship and then proceeding to ask for that recommendation letter.
Marissa, if I can add in, I forgot to mention it when I was speaking. Obviously, you've heard Marissa has laid out for you the process, but one of the things I would encourage you, when you talk to somebody about asking them to write a letter describing you, what we're calling a recommendation letter, it really is a letter of from somebody that you respect, that has helped you, professor or somebody you've worked with. Let them make certain that they know and they can elaborate on one of the areas that we've highlighted your leadership skills, your community service, your academics, or your interaction with the economic club. It's important that if it's possible, if that they discuss that and have some knowledge of that and can offer their opinion as to you in those areas. So that was just one thing I wanted to reiterate what Marissa has raised.
No, that's very helpful. And Robert, as an economic club member, and as a person who has hired and mentored a lot of people in your life, I'm sure you've had to write recommendation letters or provide references. What would you say is a good approach for someone who needs something from a member and wants to make that ask?
Well, it depends on your relationship. If you've developed a relationship with somebody that you've worked with or studied with, or you've helped them, it can be somebody that you've mentored. Some of you have graduated a number of years ago. You may have had an opportunity to mentor somebody else. It really is to get that person to be honest and to elaborate and explain a little bit about why they think that you are going to be a future leader, a future player, somebody that's going to be someone that's going to better the community, going to give back something to the community. So it really depends on your relationship with that person, but it should be somebody that knows something about you, not just signing a letter in the sense that you've written. It's somebody that needs to know you reasonably well, or have had a chance to meet you, and can elaborate on why they think that the Washington area will be better with you being involved in it.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Thank you, Robert. So there's some other items we asked for you to upload near the end of the application process. A current resume or CV, just to show what you've been up to since graduating, or even if you're going straight from undergrad to grad school, showing what type of work experience or academic volunteer or community service experience you've had. A transcript that shows the completion of your undergraduate degree. This could be like an unofficial transcript. We just need to see that you have fully finished and graduated from your undergraduate program. And then if you are currently enrolled in grad school, we ask for you to upload a transcript from your current graduate school program, or if you're not currently enrolled or about to be, just a letter of acceptance to the graduate program you plan to attend. That shows that you will be enrolled in fall of 2021. And then a headshot. It's be nice to put a picture to the name. Some of our economic club committee members may not always remember your faces, so it'd be nice for them to, have their memory jogged by a headshot as well. It's optional, but encouraged. Okay, so before I go into Q&A, I will do a run through of the application just so you can see what it looks like on the screen. So 1 second when you log in. Oh. 1 second. Technology doesn't always cooperate. Oh. Sorry about that. Okay, for some reason it's not. Sorry about that. Okay, my computer's not cooperating. I apologize. The file that I had open is not opening. So what I'm gonna do.
Marissa, do you want to send it to me and I can try on my computer?
Sure. I mean, it's on the server. It just will not. Let me just reopen it. I have it right here. Okay. It's coming. There we go. You guys can see that now. So these are screenshots of the current application. When you log in, you will see this screen that gives you an overview of the fellowship itself. You'll also see information about who Vernon Jordan is, our economic club. And I think now there's pictures of Vernon Jordan that you can see as well. The first thing we ask you to do, of course, is fill in some personal information, your vitals, basically making sure we know who you are when you graduated, and your email so that we can continue to be in touch with you. And this portion actually helps you to save your application and so you can be able to come back to it. We see that quite a few of you have already started that process, so that shows it's hopefully easy to do. And then we also ask you to pick out and tell us about your graduate school. You'll see here just some test information that we put in. We ask, which degree, type of degree you're seeking, your status, if you're applying for grad school, if you're already, or if you already are enrolled in graduate school, where you're attending and when you are projected to complete. And then here again is the short answer questions that we ask of you. You'll see here the easy link in order to upload a video. You can upload most types of media files, and there's also a way in which you can record directly in the application. There's a tool where you can do that as well. The third question. So for whatever question you decide to do your video, just type that into, so just instead of typing the answer, just type video. That way we know to go refer to the video. Also, there were questions before about having to progress. So in order to progress to the next page in any of these pages, there has to be some type of completion of the fields. And unfortunately, we aren't able to change that mechanism on the back end of the technology. So what I've suggested is to just put in placeholders, even if you have to put in a placeholder file for the video itself. That will help you get through to the end, but just make sure before you submit that you have your real files and real information in each field that you want to be submitted. And so here again is the long essay question. There'll be a big box as well for you to either type in your answers or upload a Word document with your answers. And here are the required materials that I mentioned. So here you'll see where the letters can be uploaded. We've actually changed that since where instead of you uploading the letters, it actually sends an email. You put in your recommender's name and email and a note that you'd like to send, and the system will actually send them an email so that they can upload their letter of recommendation for you. So it just simplifies the process on your end. And that's pretty much it. Once you submit at the end, you're then able to go back. You're then able to go back and overview, before you submit at the end, actually, you're able to go back and look at everything that you have typed in and submitted to make sure that it reflects what you want the committee to review. And you're able to just go through and make sure you have everything you need. So we definitely encourage you to do that proofreading, do that double and triple checking to make sure that it really reflects what you want to be submitted and to be considered for this fellowship. Any questions? We're gonna open up the floor now.
Marissa, go ahead, Renee.
Oh, hi. Marissa, thanks so much for that presentation. I just wanted to ask if you could, maybe, I'm sorry if I'm asking you to repeat, but can you clarify again the whole, how we can work with you all to reach out to an economic club member for a recommendation?
Certainly, certainly. So based on what you're studying or who we know that you may have already interacted with. So for your case, Renee, you definitely have been involved in programs. So there may be members that already remember you. And so we basically just connect you with that person over email. And then you would take the lead with, reminding them of yourself or telling them about your plans. We definitely encourage you to have a conversation first. Where you do the ask over a Zoom or a phone call, I think would be most helpful. But once you start, of course, do the introductions and making sure that you are actually, showing interest in them, as well as sharing what your interests are, because, all of our members want to be helpful. They want to support you. They know that we're connecting them with you for some type of support or help. It's just a matter of, just being cognizant of that and making sure you aren't coming out with the ask right away, but that they actually know something about you first. And that just takes a conversation. It doesn't take, months and months. Sometimes it just takes one conversation and them being able to see your resume and learn about your plans.
Gotcha. Thank you.
And thanks for being our model for the flyer.
You're welcome.
Any other questions?
For scholars or alumni that have questions as they're in the application, Marissa, what's the best contact for them?
Yes, definitely. Thank you. That was the last slide, actually. You can email us at fellowship@economicclub.org, and I'll pull that up on the screen. Again.
That was not planned, by the way.
Very helpful. So yes, there it is on your screen. Both Devanya and I can see that inbox. We monitor it every day. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in there and we can, direct you to the right resources or answers.
Marissa, go ahead.
I was just going to say, you'll see our Instagram there as well. I believe most of y'all follow us on Instagram. So make sure you do that if you haven't already.
Can you remind us too what the dates are, the important dates?
Mm-hmm. So we are ending on July. So the application is open now and it will end on July 8th. So make sure you mark July 8th on your calendar as the final deadline. Your recommenders will have until the 15th to send in their letters, but you need to have everything that's required of you submitted by July 8th. Haley.
Thanks. This has been really helpful, Marissa. I just had two quick questions. One is, if we've reached out to recommenders, how will we be notified once their portion is submitted, like as a PDF? Mm-hmm. And then my second question was just, can you give some best practices for like doing the video portion of the question? Because this is my first time doing it.
Sure. That's a great question. Thank you for asking that. So the system has these automatic notifications. Once your recommender completes their aspect, they're part of the what's been requested of them after they've uploaded or sent in their letter, you will get notified that process has been completed. So you'll get an email. Regarding the video, we definitely recommend that you be in a well-lit space, have some, business appropriate attire on. You don't necessarily have to be in a suit and tie or in a whole button down, but at least, be presentable. Well, like I said, well lit, and take the time maybe even to write out what you're going to say, but you want it also to be natural and charismatic. So show us who you are, and as you answer one of the questions, it could even be what you plan to do after college, after your graduate degree, and or how this fellowship will help you. Those are definitely things that would be good for you to express, and it shows not only your leadership but your ability to communicate verbally as well. So, just a matter of making sure that you're prepared, that you make sure you're in a well-lit space, that we can see you, and that you're dressed well. I think we'll be just fine. You don't have to be a perfect orator, but just as long as we can see some of your personality, that would be great.
Thanks. That's really helpful.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
And for those that are trying to record their pieces, if you want to use your computer, there's software and apps you can use there. You can also do it via Zoom. You can start a Zoom meeting and record it there. That way you can see yourself, and you can even have your notes up on the screen in the chat box.
That's a great point, Jeffrey.
Thank you for that tip. I definitely didn't think of something like that, so that's awesome. I have a question, obviously hoping that this is an opportunity to happen in the future in the event that a student or a scholar who applies doesn't get it for their upcoming year. If they're still in graduate school for the next cycle, is it possible to still apply, or it has to be for your first kind of round in getting into graduate school?
Excellent question. we definitely encourage you, if you are not selected, to reapply. As long as you will continue to be in graduate school. It's not just for first year of grad school. If someone is already in grad school and they're eligible to apply now. If someone applies this year and doesn't get it and they're still in grad school next year, we definitely recommend reapplying. Great
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? We're excited to see so much interest. Over the past few years, we've noticed more and more scholars going to graduate school, and wanting to make sure that we can continue to support you all any way we can. And so it's definitely been exciting to be able to pivot to use this fellowship for alumni. And so it's, like I said, it's exciting to see so much interest now. And we definitely want to make sure that you guys, take advantage of whatever supports we can offer. So we're here. If you guys have any more questions in the future, as I said before, don't forget to email us at fellowship@economicclub.org and continue to follow us on Instagram and other social media places as well. But any other questions before I close out? Or Robert, do you have any closing encouragement or remarks?
My encouragement is this is a wonderful opportunity. Spend a little time, spend a little more time than you thought you would, thinking about this, thinking about why you deserve to receive the fellowship, and make sure it comes through in your essays.
That's
It's a
great.
great opportunity.
That's really great. Well, this is our first time doing this, so I'd love to get a picture of you guys. Can everybody, if you don't feel comfortable being on screen, it's okay. But for those of you who are, just smile a little bit. All right. Beautiful. Thanks for the face mask smile. Lovely. All right. Like I said before, we do have some of our Alumni Leadership Council members on the line as well. And they have some things that they're planning as well. So alum, please, I'll hand it over to, is that Danielle that's gonna say something about the Alumni Leadership Council? All right, thanks, Danielle.
Yes, so thanks, Marissa. Good evening, everyone. It's great to see that this is a fellowship that's being started for people who are continuing their education. I am vice chair of the ALC, the Alumni Leadership Council. We have some members online as well if they want to introduce themselves afterwards. But just wanted to close out this fellowship informational session with saying we do have an ALC committee that is committed to connecting us as alumni. We have started to do some events this year. We started off with Alumni Mixer. We're having an upcoming event, which I'll display the flyer now. And it would be great to, reconnect with people and continue to see people, attend our events. Also, if you're interested in joining to help with mentoring other scholars as they're upcoming, or, help plan events or just join events, this is what the ALC committee is here for. So please forgive me for working on 2 laptops, but I'll display from this one, just the flyer so you guys can see. Pretty much we're gonna have 3 we're gonna have an industry cluster. Please let me know when you guys can see my screen. We're having an industry cluster on July 28th. You should see an email by tomorrow, latest of Monday, for you guys to join. The industries that we're including, which will involve members from each of these industries to come in and talk. We'll talk about different trends within those industries and get some insight from members. That's gonna be media, health, and nonprofit / entrepreneurship, right? So we understand that there may be people that are not in these industries, but we're going to have other industry clusters, but we want to focus on these being different from what we've done in the past. So from 5:30 to 5:45, we'll have networking. So we'll just do informal networking again as alumni. And then the event will be from 5:45 to 6:45. So again, if you have any questions or want any further information, please reach out to Ayana Bell, who is chair of the alumni committee, and myself, Danielle Bryan. I'll drop my emails in the chat before we end if you have any questions. And then we do have some ALC board members that are here as well. So, you know, we definitely want to connect with people. I see some new names I've never met before. So again, the alumni committee is for us, by us. So, you know, please feel free to join your events when you see the emails. All right. Does
Yes.
anyone have any questions?
Looks like Thomas had a question.
Yes, I do. Thank you. For the health industry, is that exclusively focused on sort of like medical health, or does that include mental health as well in that industry?
Great question. It could. So our members are usually executives in sort of health organizations that may cover both. So that can definitely be included.
Yep. And again, we're growing as we're, you know, kind to get together for in a virtual setting. We're going to have different events in the future. We're also going to have some upcoming events. So again, look out for that. This is just the second event we're having for this year.
Awesome. Thank you, Danielle.
All right. Thank you. I'll pass it back on to you.
Appreciate it. Definitely, as Danielle said, keep an eye out on your emails, on your social media, and your link in our LinkedIn group as well. If you're a member, please join. We definitely want to make sure that we reach as many alum as possible, so that you guys continue to stay connected. And this is also another way. I mean, this event will be after the fellowship is over, but this is an example of the type of engagement that you can have where you meet with members on a more organic level and are able to build those relationships. So we hope to provide more and more opportunities like this, and really look forward to continuing to provide those opportunities and have you guys participate.
Yes. And one last thing, I know a lot of us, we're connected to our alumni from our year. Again, please feel free to reach out to them and, you know, invite them to these events as well. We'll also send a follow-up to everyone that was on this call as well.
Yes. In addition to, so speaking of follow-up, we'll have a survey after this. We'd love to hear your thoughts and to make sure this is helpful for you, as well as how we can continue to support you in this process or anything else. All right. Well, I guess that is it. Thank you, everyone. We really appreciate you taking the time to be with us. Thank you again, Robert, for being with us this evening and sharing your great insights. And we're looking forward to a great fellowship season. All right. Good night, everyone.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.